Do you ever feel like you've put forth all of your effort for a long time into something that you felt really good about? Maybe you felt it's something God wanted you to do. Maybe it's something that you were just wanting to do for God, or maybe it's a ministry inside your church, or something that you're trying to do for your neighbors or your family. Whatever it is, like it's a endeavor that it's of good nature, sincere motivation, or sincere motives. But like you're just trying to do something good to glorify God and help people out, but yet it hasn't been productive. Like you've worked really hard on it to no avail, right? It just seems like no matter what you've done, it can't go right. Well, the disciples had a situation like that themselves. In John chapter 21, okay? There's two accounts of a miraculous catch of fish, all right? But one in Luke 5 and one in John 21. They are two different accounts, okay? It's two separate time periods. The one in John 21 is post-resurrection. The one in Luke 5 is at the start of Jesus' ministry. Okay, did I say Luke 5? Luke 5. It's Luke 5. I said 25. I'm totally wrong. But Luke 5 is the start of Jesus' ministry. John chapter 21 is post-resurrection and is one of the final times that that he appeared to the disciples. Okay, so we're going to use the account in John 21, but there's truth in both of them. But we'll just go to John 21. In John 21, after John 20 verse 1, okay. Afterward, Jesus appeared again to his disciples by the Sea of Tiberias. It happened this way. So John, this is the disciple John, okay, saying this is the way it happened. He was personal friend of Jesus, best friends of Jesus. There, okay, right? Simon Peter, Thomas called Didymus, Nathanael from Cana in Galilee, the sons of Zebedee, and two other disciples were together. Okay, so this is who's out there. In verse 3, I'm going out to fish, Simon Peter told them, and they said, we'll go with you. So they went out and got into the boat, but that night they caught nothing. So they went out that night. So they're saying that night they didn't catch a darn thing. I like to fish. I've been out there fishing plenty of times on W. Kerscott Lake in Wilkes County, North Carolina, and caught nothing. Now it didn't matter necessarily because we're going to relax fish. They go to fish for a living. Totally different scenario. That's a very frustrating thing to not catch any fish at all. Early in the morning, Jesus stood on the shore, but the disciples did not realize that it was Jesus. He called out to them, friends, haven't you any fish? No, they answered. He said, throw your net on the right side of the boat and you'll find some. When they did, they were unable to haul the net in because of the large number of fish. Then the disciple whom Jesus loved said to Peter, it is the Lord. As soon as Simon Peter heard him say, it is the Lord, he wrapped his outer garment around him, for he had taken it off, and jumped into the water. The other disciples followed in the boat, towing the net full of fish. They were not far, for they were not far from the shore, about 100 yards. So Peter said, the heck with this mess. He jumped out in the water and ran to him 100 yards out. When they landed, they saw a fire burning coals there with fish on it and some bread. Jesus said to them, bring some of the fish you just caught. Simon Peter climbed aboard, dragged the net ashore. It was full of large fish, 153, but even with so many, the net was not torn. Okay. And then at that time, they realized it was Jesus. Once they got on there, like, hey, that's this guy. Right? They knew it was Jesus. But what I want to talk about, though, is sometimes you get that feeling. I've worked really hard. I can't seem to gain traction, right? All it requires sometimes is just persevere, keep working, and listen to God. It sounds so simple, but it's just not. It's not as easy as it is easy. It's a very simple task, but then it's not easy because your flesh gets in the way. Like, so many times you get out there, and let's just say you're going to go do a food ministry. Okay, you're going to stand on the street, giving out food, and just telling people, hey, God loves you, we're made, what do you need? Just trying to provide needs and just do something, right? You're just doing something. And people just, they barely show up. They take from you, but they don't want to listen to you. They take from you, then you feel like they're trying to take advantage of you, or they take you for granted, and it can be hard. Maybe it's just you're not getting the response or the support you thought you should be getting, and it can be difficult. Right? These things are very difficult, and you just feel like I'm doing a good action here, but I'm not getting any return. I don't feel like there's no reward, because you're not looking to make money. You're just looking for something to grow, something like they were looking for a harvest of fish, right? They're casting their nets looking for a harvest of fish. And you could be doing something for a month, like a ministry, a sincere ministry, and you keep casting your net, your proverbial net, out there, and nothing seems to materialize. Nobody seems to respond to the gospel. Nobody seems to listen to you. They don't care what you have to say, whatever it may be. But it gets hard, and you feel like it's unproductive. It's an unproductive action. Don't give up. Just listen to God. And then other times, maybe you feel like, hey, I'm waiting on God to do a miracle in my life. I need God to move. I'm waiting for a move of God. Maybe God's waiting for a move of you. Maybe God's asking you to do something that you're just simply not doing. Maybe you said, hey, give me something to work with. I cannot move in your life if you're sitting there propped up, feet on the couch watching football. If you're sitting there watching videos all the time, if you're sitting there, not wanting to give me something to work with. I can't move in your life if you're not moving your feet. It can be a very simple idea. Maybe you're just not listening to God and doing things wrong, or maybe you're not doing a darn thing on your own. That's very possible, right? God needs you to do something in obedience. There's a scripture that says obedience is better than sacrifice. Wish I looked it up. I just thought about it. I forgot where it's at, but it's in the Old Testament. But obedience is better than sacrifice. He just needs you to obey. The disciples just had to put out their nets for fish on the other side of the boat, which would be silly. We've been out here casting our net all stinking night. You're going to tell me to put it right here instead of right here? And that's going to make a difference? Really? We tried that side earlier in the night. It didn't work. Right? We've done this before. We've been down this road, bub. Okay, fine. We'll do what you say. And you do what he says and look what happens. Right? Just do what he says and look what happens. Like in the disciple situation, the reality is not that they weren't trying. The reality is not that you're not trying. You just need to maybe just make a little tweak to it. Just ask God, hey, Lord, I'm doing this. What can I do better or differently? And the fact of the matter is, though, is that, like, if they had just quit trying, they never would have had that miraculous catch of fish. So don't quit. Maybe if you haven't started, you need to start. You need to start trying, but don't quit if you've been going down that road and you ain't had nothing that's you ain't had no production, nothing feels like it's no return, no harvest, we'll say. Then just keep going. Listen to God and do what you feel like He wants you to do. If it makes a little tweak. But now, if you ain't trying, you need to try. I can't get a harvest of tomatoes if I ain't never planted a plant. We don't get no beans if we don't plant seeds and then water the seeds. You can't. I went and planted these seeds and put them in dry ground, but I never watered them. Well, they're not going to grow. They're not going to germinate. You can't expect to get a harvest if you never put forth the effort. And that's the situation that a lot of people find themselves in, is that Lord, I want a harvest, but I don't want to put forth no effort. That's a tough spot to be in. God needs you. He needs you to give Him something to work with. Okay? It's not a God helps those who help themselves type situation, but if you're not putting forth your efforts, if you're not giving your heart, and you're not actually going out trying to do something, then God's not just showing up and putting a successful ministry on your doorstep, or not showing up with a stack of cash and putting it on your doorstep. He's not showing up with a reward of joy and peace. You're not reaping joy and peace and happiness and a prosperous life, even if it's not financially prosperous, just prosperity in some manner. You're not reaping all that if you never sowed, those seeds out in this world for God. That's just the reality of the situation. So if you ain't tried, better start trying. If you have been trying, maybe just catching it on the other side of the boat. But no matter what, it's got to be your heart. It's got to be giving it towards God, for God. And you got to listen to Jesus. He may be on the shore 100 yards away, but it ain't too far away to listen to him. Thank you guys so much for watching. Do appreciate it. My name is Jason. This is Art of Creation Homestead. We love you. God bless you and goodbye.